Today, we're making the most delicious shrimp with orzo. Here are all the ingredients. Let's get into it right now. All right, I always like to go over all the ingredients. It makes it easy for me, but more importantly, it makes it easy for you, and it is all about you, okay? If you don't like what I'm doing here, you're gonna leave and you're not gonna come back, and I want you to stay. I want you to stay and watch all of our videos because we do appreciate it. Let's go over the shrimp first. So the shrimp I have right here, I have 1.5 pounds of U26 shrimp. These are peeled and deveined already. They have the tails on. If you don't like the tails, by all means, just remove them. I'm gonna leave them on. I like it, it looks nicer. I have 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. I have a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, or you could use regular salt. Probably should use fine sea salt, but that's Diamond Crystal Kosher. And then I have a half a teaspoon of baking soda. So this is all gonna go in here with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we'll brine the shrimp. The baking soda makes them plumper, okay? Just trust me on it. For the remaining bits of the dish, we have 1.5 cups of orzo. I think a bag of orzo, like 1 pound of orzo is 2.5 cups, but just 1.5 cups measure out, that'll be fine. I have 3.5 cups of low sodium chicken stock. I'm using Better Than Bouillon chicken base, which I always use. This makes it really flavorful. Just cooking orzo in the stock is so delicious. After we sear our shrimp, we'll let them sit. We'll go to that. We're gonna put in 1 medium onion that's diced, about 6 cloves of garlic that's minced, and then we're gonna put in lemon zest. We're gonna put in lemon juice. We'll keep adding it until we get it to taste right, okay? But initially it's a tablespoon of lemon zest, which is basically gonna be a whole lemon zested, and then about 2 to 3 tablespoons of juice, which is essentially what you get from 1 lemon. I also cut up this lemon, half of it, because these look really nice. You throw them in at the end. We're gonna put in a bunch of parsley at the end, and we're gonna put in these super delicious oil-cured black olives. So you've probably seen me use these before. I love them. If you don't want to use them, you can use Kalamata olives. Those would be great. These, they're very salty. So what I like to do is soak them in water, then I'll like squeeze them, try to remove some of that saltiness. We also have a cup of feta, which is salty as well. So there's a lot of salt in this dish. It's good salt, it tastes really good, but that's why you gotta kind of be careful with any remaining salt here. And we're cooking with extra virgin olive oil. I mean, this really couldn't be simpler, but you're gonna see when it all comes together how good it is. So let's get to brining the shrimp right now. Okay, we're gonna brine the shrimp. I'm gonna just put in, or like marinate, whatever. You only have to do this for like 10, you can do it up to like 30 minutes, but any longer than that is too much. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. This is just, again, this is the half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon salt, and then 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Just get it all in there. I'm gonna do about half at a time. You know what, this is a perfect application right now for what am I gonna grab, Tara?
Oh, the bro gloves.
I've been using these more and more. I'm eating my words. Good. Okay, and I'm just gonna distribute all that as best I can. By the way, these shrimp have been drained overnight, and I patted them dry and taken a lot of the moisture out of them. You really wanna, like when you're cooking these shrimp, you wanna make sure they're defrosted. Like if you start with frozen, you're not gonna be able to get as much color on them. Okay, so our shrimp have been, marinating, brining for about 10 minutes. I'm going to use this pan. This is a non-stick. Normally you'd be better off with a regular stainless or whatnot. If you look at the print recipe, I used 2 different pans. So what I did was I seared the shrimp in this pan, which is a hard anodized, which I think this is hard anodized too. But anyway, I wanted to put the rice in this one because the orzo, because with the liquid and everything, I won't be able to fit it in a regular pan. So we'll do everything in here. I don't have a stainless that's like this. I'm gonna turn this heat up to a touch more than medium heat. It's 2 minutes, heat it up. All right, there's some oil. And we'll see if I can fit them all. If not, I'll just do 2 batches. Shrimp take really short amount of time. Yeah, you know what? I'll do 2 batches. All right, spread them out. Try to get contact everywhere on the bottom of the pan. And they're only gonna take about 60 seconds per side. You don't even need to cook them all the way through because we're gonna mix it back in with the orzo at the end. All right, start flipping. Put way too many in here. I should have done it exactly half and half, but I didn't. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna pull this off. Wipe that side down there so you don't get that back on your burner. Let that heat up again. It's very hot. And then now that's originally that's how much I should have done originally. Maybe a touch more oil. And just another 60 seconds per side. I raised my heat a little bit more to probably like a 7. All right, these are done too. Put that right back on there. And here is our shrimp. I want you just to tent these with foil, just like a tent. That's it. Like, don't seal it in, just like a little, like this. So next step, we're just gonna put the onion in. Now my pan was off. I'm gonna turn my pan back up to medium heat. Just added a 1/4 cup of olive oil to this, and I'm just letting them get soft. I put a little sprinkle of salt on. I thought my cameras were filming, but they weren't. Just let it go for like 3 to 5 minutes until they start to soften up. So it's been about 5 minutes. My onions look like this. Okay, and I'm gonna add the garlic. Okay, so that garlic is just going for about a minute. And now we're just gonna add the orzo in, all right? We're just gonna toast this up for a couple minutes. This brand is Garofalo that I'm using. There's 2 different types of orzo. You'll see like, these are longer ones, and then you'll see like really small ones. The DeCecco brand is really small. I kind of like the way the longer ones look. Just let it toast a little bit, just kind of like what you would do with rice. So it's as simple as that. The orzo has a little bit of color on it, just a little bit. What I'm going to do is add in, this is 3.5 cups of chicken stock, reduced sodium, with the chicken base. And you can see I always get it stuck at the bottom here. So I put a tiny bit more water in. Don't worry about the liquid amount here. The orzo 1.5 cups is not gonna absorb the full amount of liquid here, which is fine. We want some liquid left in it. It is gonna do a fairly good job of like taking on the flavor and becoming like, it's just a really easy way to cook orzo. So bring this to a boil. That's all you have to do. Now turn the heat to low, to the lowest spot you can get it pretty much. Got a cover here that is completely covered. Just let it cook. The orzo is gonna absorb this liquid. It's gonna take about 12 minutes to get tender. You can check at about the 8-minute mark. If you look on the box, it'll be like boil water 5 minutes. It's not gonna take 5 minutes because this isn't boiling. It's cooking slower. We want it to absorb that flavor. But we'll check it about the 8-minute mark just to make sure. It's been 8 minutes. We'll check it here. Still a little bit too hard. If you look at this, there's a lot of liquid in here. If it's too much for you, you can just leave it uncovered and we can just let it cook and reduce too. And that's what I'm gonna do. It probably needs about 3 more minutes here. So I'll just let it cook, very low heat, uncovered. It'll absorb more liquid and there'll be more evaporation. It's almost done. More liquid has absorbed, but you can see over here on the camera, I have these oil cured olives. So these are pitted, but I think I just spoke about this in the puttanesca video. Just make sure you really check them because sometimes they're like one gets through and then, you know, somebody could break their tooth. I want these chopped for in here. It's better experience, but you know, if you like them whole, you can leave them whole. Okay, so here it is. You can see how most of that liquid has absorbed. It's nice and creamy. If for some reason it's too thick, just add a little bit more water or chicken stock just to loosen it up a little bit. Here is all those olives. Looks like I have more than 1/2 cup here, so I'll probably use about that much for now. These are very strong, so if you're not a fan of like that really briny olive taste, just go easy on it. Lemon juice, I'm gonna put it out about 3 tablespoons. And then my lemon zest, I washed my lemon, always wash your lemons. And let's get the zest off of here. You know, recipe says 1 tablespoon, but you know, if you do 2 teaspoons, it'll be okay too. I'm just gonna do this lemon. When you do it this way with it up, the zester up, you can see how much you have before any of it goes in there, so you can get a better way of estimating the amount you're putting in. And when you take the zest, just the outside, you know, you don't want the white part. It's a little bitter there. All right, so that's all that. You take your finger, your pinky finger, whatever finger can fit in there, and get the remaining bit out of it. You know, if that's not enough, we'll just add more juice and we'll add more zest until we get the exact taste that we want. But ooh, I smell that already and it smells great. So these shrimp are like pretty much cooked. Maybe they were a touch undercooked, but you're adding them back into the hot orzo right now, so that's fine. And I just have the heat on low right now, which is fine. The residual heat here is going to finish cooking those shrimp. Now, if you think you're a little dry here, which it looks like it is getting a little dry, just a little bit more liquid. The orzo with the chicken stock, the taste is phenomenal. Can you do seafood stock? Absolutely. Olives looking good. I think we could put in the rest of those olives. I like to add these lemon slices too. I think it looks really nice. You know, you just kind of mix them in there with everything. Okay, I think it needs more lemon juice. So I just tasted it. It needs a little bit more for me. Ooh, no pits on there, all right? Probably another tablespoon and a half that I just added there. Salt levels are good. I think a little bit of black pepper, maybe some more crushed red pepper. Here's our parsley. That's good. I have even more over there. So it says a cup of feta. This is probably more than a cup of feta. I like to serve each plate with the feta on top, like crumbled pieces of it. I'll put a little bit in now, but we'll do the majority of it like that. There's something so just nice about this. It's a great, like just easy dish to put together. Super easy, like if you're a relatively novice cook, it's not hard at all. And you know, you can make it even better with the really good extra virgin, so Frantoio Barbera. This is like my extra virgin that I use for finishing. So I'm mixing Sicilian olive oil in a Greek dish, but it's fine, right?
It's like one of my favorite things they make.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love this one too. I think the shrimp came out better last week because I did it in a separate pan. I was able to get higher heat and a better sear. But
oh no, I actually think it's better this way.
You think it's better this way? I think this Orzo's better too. I used Barilla last time. This is Garofalo. It's a nicer shape. All right, so before you finish it all, do you think it needs more lemon juice? Do you think it needs anything else? Like, what would you do to change it up?
I actually think it's perfect.
You think it's perfect?
Yeah, I'm giving this a 10.
Nice. By the way, if you're not following us on Instagram, please do. It's just at Sip and Feast. So many people, I said, if you want me to make a YouTube video, they were like, yes, please. And the reason I didn't want to do it is because it's such a simple recipe. I'm glad I did. And I'm glad that James gave it a 10. It's just a perfect combination.
Like Sammy said, like if you want, you could also make this an appetizer, just taking out the shrimp and just having the Orzo.
Yep. Don't you think Orzo is one of the best pasta shapes, James?
This is pasta?
Orzo is pasta. I know.
Oh, wow.
It confuses you, right? You think it's rice.
Yeah, I thought it was rice.
Nope, it's pasta.
It is very good.
By the way, I didn't put any extra feta on his, which I should have. Feel free to put as much as you like. All right, anything else you want to say, James, before we go?
No, but this is seriously so good.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Definitely make this.
All right. We'll see you next time.